Is anybody
Guys,
there?
it's the
Guys, how's it
Hey
going?
guys, we are now
What?
live.
What?
How is it
What?
going? I'm gonna turn on the Q&A feature for you people. All right, let's get started.
Wah!
What? It's disabled.
Oh, sorry guys.
Whatever. Okay,
No one's
well,
watching anyways.
whatever. As always, guys, I am going to go and just hang on.
All right.
Okay,
So
as always, we have to show this. All right, guys, here is the intro for you.
no, it's because it is. It's already. That's because it's there.
Okay, guys, well, since I'm using a screen recorder, it
gonna be
really
slow.
did not like that at
Yeah, it's gonna be
all.
slow.
Yeah. Wait,
So that's
I
an
bet
issue.
you I can replay the intro a little bit better. But until then, he's going to talk about his choices of stuffs today. So let's
What?
do it.
What? Oh my
Oh,
god,
we can't, we
guys!
can't, we can't show the keynote either, guys. Sorry.
Oh my god. Okay,
Or
so
can we?
hold on. I'm gonna look up my specs just so I have everything right, because we can't post edit. Oh, what the heck's going on
Yeah,
here?
we can't. We really can't.
We really can't. So, top 5 smartphones of 2014.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So, first off
Oh, I have something in my trash.
is the Samsung Galaxy. Is it Galaxy? I'm fairly sure it's called Galaxy.
Yeah.
Note 4. Yes, Note 4. It's a good phone, guys. It's a pretty good phone.
Nice.
Yeah, the body's it has a nice body. It's not bad.
It has
Some of the last ones have been.
really nice body.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is top 5 phones of 2014 here.
Yeah,
So
2014, Tyler.
we're gonna
2014.
go ahead, and I am able to
Alright.
hopefully show you guys this at the same time the webcam is on. Maybe.
God. Maybe.
Okay. Let's see.
Maybe.
Wait, I just hit record slideshow. I did not want to do that.
No.
Let's get out of there. You guys probably just saw that. So this is Nerf MC's Sagamont.
Sagamont. It's
It
my
is-
Sagamont. Wait,
Yeah.
I thought you were doing a top 5 toughest cameras first.
We're just gonna go in order. We're not even gonna go in order. We're just gonna wing it.
Wing it. Okay, so it's a nice phone. It's pretty big. It's really big. It's 5.7 inches, so it's a little bit bigger than the iPhone 6 Plus. But it's not as big as the Samsung Galaxy Mega. It's not as big as the Nexus 6. And it's a little bit bigger than the LG G3. Is it Am I here?
Yeah.
It should be okay. It should be good.
Yeah, I'm just
All right.
back and forth.
So,
guys, I don't have my TriCaster. It's not compatible with Mac, so you're gonna have to bear with us.
Apple.
I mean, it is. I just don't want to have to install the TriCaster app.
Oh my god, Apple, you suck. All right, so we've cleared that out of the way. So the resolution is 2560 by 1440. It's pretty good resolution. It's actually the highest currently right now. What are you doing?
I'm just gonna use screenshots instead of doing the other thing.
What?
Because Keynote likes to lag out during live.
Right. So, besides that, it's 515 pixels per inch. Yeah, inch.
Okay.
It's yeah, whatever. And it has corner. All right, we're back.
That was weird.
So, we're you, and there's a TSL Tyler going on here? What?
Hang on.
Right, okay.
Alright, keep talking. I'm gonna go check YouTube and make sure that this is still the same video.
I don't think it is. I'm fairly sure it's different. Anywho. Yeah, you should probably check that first before we do anything.
Keep talking.
Alright, well, have you guys heard about the interview? That's interesting. I
haven't watched it because I don't want to pay money to watch something on YouTube, which I think is if we have to pay money to watch it, don't put it on freaking YouTube. That's stupid.
No, that's
YouTube is
YouTube
free.
movie service. That's pretty much separate. It's not really the same thing as just watching stuff on YouTube because they have movies. They don't have a lot, but they definitely have movies on YouTube, and that's totally separate.
Right.
So,
okay.
Oh, TSL Studios intro official 8 months ago. Oh my god.
Oh gosh, I am less than 100 views away from 52,000 views. Thank you guys. Yeah, wait.
Wait, go back. Uploads. Go to uploads.
Hold on, I am.
Uploads. No, click on the uploads. Click on uploads. All right. No. All videos. Yeah. There's your lives.
Completed I just thought.
Yeah, so it's live now. Okay, good.
Okay, well we're still in. We're good.
Guy. There's that guy named Nerf MC. God dang it.
Derp MC.
No, Derf. Oh geez. All right, so back to the Samsung Galaxy Note 4. It has a slot for micro SD card. It has it's planned to upgrade to Lollipop. I'm not sure that it's gonna upgrade soon. I've heard that they're gonna skip it for a while until like later. Not quite sure about that, but just keep looking it up. And if you have Android, it'll tell you in your Google Now or whatever that's called.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Video 2160 at 30 frames per second. So that's 4K video at 30 frames per second. It's pretty good. Not 60 frames, but it's still pretty good. 60 frames per second at 1080p. That's good too. And then for photos, just the camera on the back is a 16 megapixel camera, which means you can get a 5312 by 2988 image. It's a 5K image. So if you have a 5K iMac, which I doubt anyone who eventually watches this will, but if you do, it's you can see it in full resolution then, I guess. Besides that, it's pretty normal. It has TouchWiz. That's a definite issue with it. You can root it and get a CyanogenMod on it, and that'll work a little bit better. And then you can make it look like Samsung and whatever. You can make it look like any phone with CyanogenMod. So
yeah. Ooh, I love the hairline light though. Yeah, that does not help. Okay. Continue.
Anyway, so sorry I'm holding this. We don't really have we had it taped to his shoulder, but it wasn't working. So whatever. Hey, don't do that. Don't do that.
We don't want Google effects.
Yeah, we don't want Google effects.
Okay.
This is supposed to be serious, legitimate. All right, so it has a 3220 milliamp hour battery. That's definitely not as good as the Droid Turbo, but it's better than like other phones, like iPhones, all iPhones. But it's gonna have some issues though, especially with the fact that it is a 2560 by 1440 screen, so it's gonna suffer a lot from battery or some from that screen that it's pushing that high resolution. So next phone, number two. I don't know. Number 2 spot should go to, I think, the LG G3. And it's personally one of my favorites. It was the first phone to have 25, what the heck? All right, whatever. It's the first phone to have 2560 by 1440. So 2.5K display. It's a 5.5-inch display, so it's a little bit smaller.
Right.
And the bezel is tiny. With Samsung you have your push button, but with LG it just has the bottom buttons here, right down there. So
they're not physical buttons.
Yeah, they're not
They're
physical.
all in the software.
The only physical buttons are on the back with the volume up, volume down, and the button on, or the turn off button, power button, Right. So I love that. You don't have to have that huge bezel.
I think though the G Flex deserves some respect too, because that's one of the coolest phones I think you can get. Its performance is great.
But it's only a 720p display, and that's something that suffers from. I'm sure that's because partly because of.
Then again, it's really hard to tell.
Screen.
Well, it's really hard to tell.
It's a 6-inch too. No, but a 720p display, and it's a 6-inch phone. So versus my 5-inch phone, or versus someone's 4-inch phone, or whatever, it's a lot different. So even though beyond like 300 pixels per inch, it's not going to be much difference. But people didn't want to move up to from 720 to 1080, and people don't really think that it's a great idea to move from 1080 to 2560.
I think the reason it really deserves some respect though is because it's self-healing.
Right.
I think that's a really cool feature.
I personally wish that came with other phones. Is she calling you?
I don't know. What? All right, I'll be right back. I probably need to go do something. I'll be back.
All right, but
good mythical morning.
What? What? All right.
Copyright.
Anyways, so it does deserve respect in the fact that it is self-healing, but it's definitely not gonna have that same back as the LG G3, and it's not gonna have a metal back or anything like that, and it's different, but it's give or take. Whatever your phone you want to have. If you have a kid, it's probably going to be better for them, except that, I mean, it still costs money. So, personally, I would get this phone, but, because this is a nice phone. But, anyways, so LG G3, it's a nice phone. It has good specs. Now, like, the Antutu benchmark is not high for the G3. That is a huge issue. It definitely suffers from that, even though it has 3 gigabytes of RAM. I don't know why. It's just LG G3 software, I think, takes a big hit on that. And so, yeah, it also has a pretty big battery as well as the other phone. What's it called? Oh, it has Corning Gorilla Glass 3. Not the same as the Gorilla Glass 4, but it's still Gorilla Glass, so that's good. The camera is 4160 by 3120. With a 13 megapixel camera. I have an issue with this with LG. My phone I use, it has an 8 megapixel camera, but it shoots.
Sorry guys, we have to take a break so we can do our Coke. You can get it?
No.
It's like, I'm just kidding. I brought up a couple Cokes for us. Not sponsored, just love. Same with GoPro. Not sponsored, just love.
All right.
You don't have to drink it. I'll drink it.
All right. Cool.
I'm a big guy.
So anyways. Yeah, that's one of the issues though I have with that phone specifically, or just the LG. They make their cameras so that the resolution it shoots at is more. It's closer to a square than that full 1080p rectangle. And that's an issue because then you have to bump it down to less megapixels, and it just takes a hit on the resolution and all that. So I don't personally like that, but whatever. Yeah, 3,000 milliamp hour battery. That's what I thought. So
You're talking about the G3?
yeah, and so it's okay.
That's a pretty good battery, actually. They
could-
last for a
No,
long time.
3,000 milliamp hours. The screen, the 2.5K display,
It
and
does suck up a lot
all
of battery.
the specs, it sucks up that battery. It needs it. And it also makes the phones really thick. Like this phone is not the same as the G3, but it's a very thick phone. And the only phones
For reference, the Samsung Galaxy S3 is thinner than that phone with a case on it. I'm sorry, but
yeah,
it is worth it considering what you get.
Yeah,
with
and
phone.
it's especially take away with the bezel. It takes away from how thin you're gonna get your phone because the iPhones they are very thin. The new iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, but they have huge bezels in comparison to the G3.
Yeah.
So that's an issue. Now number three. What did I say number 3 was? I think I said the Moto X.
Yes, it was.
Oh, no,
it
I
was-
think I'm going to change this one. I think the OnePlus One. I'm going to go with the OnePlus One. It's a phone that not a lot of people
about
heard
that when we were actually shooting a video. Before
Yeah.
we decided to do it live. I thought you were going to say the OnePlus One, but then you said the Moto X. And I was like, really?
Yeah, so the OnePlus One, it kind of looks similar. It's not made by the same people as LG, but it looks similar to
Here, I'll pull up a picture.
it looks similar to the LG G3, but it's not. It has a little bit bigger of a bezel, but it doesn't have like the same kind of it's strange. It's a strange phone. It costs a lot less money. It costs $299 for a 16 gigabyte. It's either 16 gigabyte version. No, the LG or the OnePlus One.
Oh, the OnePlus One. Duh.
Yeah.
I'm so smart.
Anyways, it's a really cool phone. It costs like I said, $299. And then otherwise the other version of it costs $349. It costs $349. All right, yeah. So we got it here. 64 gigabytes is $349, and it's this black sandstone version. You can't get any other colors. That's the issue. And one of the huge drawbacks with this, it's an amazing
Here it
phone.
comes, guys. I'll pull up the picture.
It has great specs. If I wanted to get a phone besides this phone, I would definitely either get the Nexus 5 or this phone. And the Nexus obviously has some other issues too, but it's awesome in my opinion. It comes with the CyanogenMod version of Android, and they'll get Android L pretty soon. But it's a really cool phone. It has so the screen resolution, wait, hold on. Yeah, the screen is 5.5 inches and it's a 1080p screen. So it wasn't really made. I don't know when it was made, but it wasn't made with April 2014. So I think it might have been made before the G3. I'm not sure about that. Possibly. It would be around the same time, but they don't have 2.5. Yeah, it's not a 2.5K display.
Exactly.
But it does have a 13 megapixel camera. And it does shoot, so it shoots in 4K. And it has the video is 2160 at 30 frames per second. And it can shoot 720 at 120 frames per second. Yeah, it has 3 gigabytes of RAM. That's great. It has a Snapdragon 801 processor, and it has a big battery as well. One of the really cool things is that CyanogenMod just made it so you can shoot raw photos with the OnePlus One, and that's so basically with raw photos you can take them and go into Lightroom, I believe, a Lightroom on Adobe, and change the white balance and stuff after the fact. Have you ever heard of it? You know what RAW is, right? Right.
Yeah, it's like no compression or anything. It's the full photo.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. It's surprising that they did that for a phone, but CyanogenMod is different. You have to be invited to get it.
For those of you guys who don't know what a good explanation of RAW is, on a typical DSLR, a picture will be about 6 megabytes for a normal picture. Now, if you put the DSLR on RAW mode, a single picture will be up to 100 to 200 megabytes. There's no compression, and it is putting all 18 million pixels into the picture. It's not deleting any of them.
So yeah, that's but besides that, you have to get an invite, and that's an issue. You either have to like do these competitions or get an invite from an employee or something. It's really weird, and they had these weird marketing campaigns that were quite sexist and they were bad, but besides that, it's a good phone. So yeah, there's the issue with that. But of course, it costs $350, and you get better specs, I believe, than the Nexus 5, which is similar in many respects to this phone, but I think you can get it on pretty much any network, and that's great. So, next phone, number 4, is a tie. I think it's a tie between the Moto X and the. Well, no, actually, I think I'm gonna go with Nexus 6. Yeah, Nexus 6. It's basically the Moto X, but it's 6 inches. It's huge. Luckily, though, the Moto X the Nexus 6, it comes in. It has the 2.5K display. We've talked a lot about this, I guess, already in the video. So it's awesome.
I haven't talked about the Moto X yet.
No, we've talked about the 2.5K display. It's a huge difference.
Yes.
So you can like look it up like on LG's
I'll
website.
What are we on, Moto X? Or wait,
No, Nexus 6.
Nexus 6. Okay, we're not doing the Moto X, right?
Yeah, no. So then Moto X costs a lot less, and or the first generation costs less. This current one costs a bit more. It costs more, closer to a regular phone. And the issue with the Nexus 6, I believe for most of the or all of the Nexus line, they made them cheap, affordable phones. Then they made the Nexus 6, and they shot up the price by $300. So it's a $649 phone or something like that. So that's ridiculous. It should just be the normal price, but it's not. And you get stock Android 5.0. A lot of people, like a lot of developers and people like that, they like that kind of thing. I don't care for it because I don't do that. So it's not something that I'm looking for, but it's still it's cool, and you're not gonna get some whatever the company throws on the phone to make it look different or to change the phone itself. So yeah, you just get Google, and once Android 5.0 upgrades to whatever, and it's gonna get the upgrades the fastest out of any phone. In terms of specs, what are the specs? What's your opinion on this, Tyler?
I don't know. I'm gonna say it's a nice phone, but I'm sorry to say there are some nicer phones out there. But I guess for the Nexus line, yes, this is a big improvement. But I'm gonna say that there is other phones out there. Don't get me wrong. If you think I'm thinking iPhone, no, I'm not that much of an Apple lover. Their computers are great, sure. They're iPhones. I mean, come on, what the hell are you guys doing? No offense, but geez, I mean, you guys are still less powerful than the S3. But
1 gigabyte of RAM.
Other phones. I'm sorry. You guys probably agree with me on this. But what I'm gonna have to say for this is,
what phones?
The G3 is probably actually better than this, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's definitely better.
You're definitely getting better specs. But if this is your first smartphone, if you're
let's say that specs, it's kind of similar.
So let's say, but let's say that your kid is getting his first smartphone or whatever. He's like 11 years old or whatever.
I don't think you should go for any of the higher end.
This would be the perfect phone. This is like, I'm not saying it's a toy. I'm saying that this is probably one of the best phones for a kid or something.
I don't know. I think if you have a kid, I think you're probably not gonna dump $600.
This is still spoiling him, but
yeah, I think you should go with the Nexus 5.
If you want to get him a good phone that's actually gonna last him and not be outdated in a year, the Nexus 6 is probably the way to go, or the Samsung Galaxy S3.
I don't know.
The Samsung Galaxy S3 is going to be around for a little bit.
I disagree.
I don't know.
So the Samsung Galaxy S3 it's interesting.
I could be wrong.
Yeah. But in reality, I think if you're getting your phone, a phone for your kid. So my mom,
Just give him your old iPhone. He won't know.
Oh God, no,
Honestly.
no. You should give them an Android. I think. I mean, personally, I like Android
If you
way
look on my
better.
if you look on my shelf, if any of my fans ever meet me, you'll notice I have an iMac box, 2 iPad boxes, an Apple keyboard, Apple mouse, and a Mac Mini box. You'll notice there's no iPhone boxes. The only reason I have iPad boxes is because the iPads work best for my DJing. They can run the DJ app perfectly on a nice screen. That is probably the only reason I go with iOS, is because Algorithm, the people who make, or I said it wrong, Algorithm, that's how you say their name. They only make that app for iOS. So that's the only reason I have iPads. So don't get me wrong, Android is better.
Yeah, I think.
Although,
I mean, for a kid,
iOS,
it's very simple. It's a lot more. It's kind of.
iOS is good for.
It's not like dumbed down, but it's a lot more simple for a kid who's getting their first phone. Now, if you're
iOS is good for tablets, I would say, mostly because you can make a big thin tablet and not require many specs. Because if you guys have noticed, iOS takes barely anything to run. I've run a virtual version of iOS 8 in my VMware on my PC, and it only took an extra, I think it was only 56 megabytes of RAM to run iOS perfectly smooth. Right. The apps take more RAM than the actual operating system. Where Android, I also ran on virtual VMware, and Android OS takes about 500 megabytes of RAM to run. Plus, then there's the apps on top of that. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying iOS is good because you can make thinner products. But if you want something more powerful, Android.
And you're gonna get better battery probably out of an Android phone.
iPads will last a lot.
Well, that's because they're tablets and they have a lot.
If we're talking about phones, yes, Android is the way to go. If we're talking about tablets, I'm not saying that Android is bad. I'm just saying, well, depending on what you're doing, an iPad could be best. For photography stuff, I would say an iPad would be the best right now. They have a pretty good camera on them, and they have a lot of good photography apps to control. Well, no,
I mean, it's okay.
The reason I'm saying this though is because mostly,
I don't know about the full iPad though.
What I'm saying though is I'm not saying that the iPad itself is good for photography. I'm saying there's a lot of good photography apps, and you are able to control almost any version of DSLR out there with an iPad with some of the apps, which I like. And they have built-in iPhoto, which is actually pretty much a mobile equivalent to Photoshop, which I like. Other than that, unless you're doing video like iMovie and stuff, mobile, I would just say go to Android. But for productive stuff, yes, Apple.
But we're talking about a kid here. We're talking about a kid. And anyways,
even though you can like control me and does video stuff,
if you can control DSLRs, that's not the
that's
camera
not really
on them themselves. Yeah, the camera themselves. I don't know about the full iPad, but the iPad Mini.
The iPad
Mini's camera is bad.
They took the first iPad, added the crappiest camera they could, and made it smaller.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, they're getting
the new
better.
iPads actually have a pretty good camera on them, and their megapixels is not the great. But if you think about it, 720p is not even a full megapixel. So when you're really thinking about it, so if you have a 15,
no, but you're not really. But when you're talking about smartphones, it has to be a lot more than that.
Yeah, I don't know the exact amount of megapixels the iPad is, but I know the new ones actually have a nice camera in them. But other than that, I think that Android is going to get you the best.
But if you're looking for a kid, like you're looking for a phone itself, you're not looking for an iPad, because you can get your
tablet-wise
or whatever.
Is another story, as we were just saying.
It's another story, but
phones, come on.
Yeah. So he's gonna say the Samsung Galaxy S3. I would go with the.
I'm gonna say G3.
Yeah.
The original, the normal G3, not his version of it. If you really have the money, get the real G3.
I don't think you really need it as
although
a
it's really
phone.
Not necessary.
Yeah. Especially because your kid's gonna have smaller hands, and the G3 is a 5.5 versus the 5-inch. So I would go with the G3 Vigor, and if they have big hands, then I would go with the G Vista or whatever that's called.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, I think LG G3 is good.
Or actually, if your kid has big hands and he wants a phone that can actually, it's not very expensive anymore. I would say to go to the G Flex. If he has big enough hands to use it,
Well, it's
I would
still,
say. And you know what? The nice thing
it
is
just
though, is
depends where you
if your
find it.
kid has a habit of putting his phone in his back pocket, Christy, when she broke her iPhone, the thing I like about the G Flex, real quick, I'm sorry, I'm kind of getting off topic, is the even though they're bent, that's not just for looks. It's also for the comfort of holding it on your head, and also if you drop the phone, there's a much less chance you're going to shatter it because the screen is curved. You're not actually hitting any of the glass, and you can bend them easy. So if you put them in your back pocket and you sit down and it bends, there's nothing going to happen to it.
Yeah, I mean, but you're gonna notice it when you put it in your back pocket. You're not just gonna be like, huh, I just sat down on my phone. You're gonna be like, oh my gosh, what is this bendy thing? Oh, that's my phone. Oh, what the heck?
Right?
Oh, shoot, I should take that out. But it's also a huge phone, and just like any other big phone. So yeah. It's gonna it's harder to fit in pockets and
Okay, do
stuff.
you want me to show you an example on why you don't get Apple products for a kid? I will show them a nice, good example.
Oh yeah.
On the back, looks like a pretty fully functional iPad, right? Well, if you're not careful with your iPads, this will happen. Now, if you think that that's bad, let me plug it in for you. So, let me get a power brick here. See if I can get this to even boot up. It boots and then turns right off. But he'll have a good reaction. But here, nice shattered LCD. This was from one drop, and it is completely gone. And now keep in mind, this is the second version of the iPad. This was not on Siri or anything. Your nice, general iOS 7, nothing major, but yeah, you can really see this thing is just absolutely not even worth it. There it goes. There, now you can really see it because it just started to boot up. But yeah, there's what your lock screen looks like. And then there it goes. It just shut off because the thing is so damaged. But iPads, not the best, especially when you give them to a 5-year-old. Not saying anything bad about autistic people or anything. I am autistic, but iPads are a good choice for them. Make sure to put a case on him because he got mad when he was playing Angry Birds and it flew across the room, smacked into a wall, hit a tile floor, and that was the end. So just saying, get a case. And if you guys are actually wondering, I was asked this, what case do you recommend for iPads? This is a case that you guys probably never heard of. They're called gumdrop cases, and they are really nice. I've been using those on the 2 iPads that we use for my mom's twins. They have been thrown against walls. They have been dropped on tile floor. They are impossible to break, basically. You cannot, they're nice rubber on the outside. They have a really cool feeling texture. And then the case, it also goes about this far above the screen itself. So you have your screen protector and then that thick of rubber up against the edges. So it's almost impossible to break. It's like turning your iPad into a big bouncy ball. It's really actually pretty cool.
Yeah, so
if you guys want a picture of him here, while he's talking about his list, I will pull up a picture and then share it with you guys. And sorry about how rough this is going on the transitions between pictures and stuff. I'm literally going through all Google Hangouts. There's no TriCaster involved in this one. Okay. Awkward moment of silence.
So basically, on to the next one. Yeah, I'd go with either the HTC One M8 or going with the what's it called, the Moto X.
Yep.
They both have really nice bodies. The HTC One M8 it's definitely set itself apart with its large speaker and the aluminum, I believe it's aluminum case. Besides that, well, I think I'm gonna throw that in as number 5. I'm gonna go with number 4 as the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. Not that I necessarily like them as phones, and they don't have 4K cameras like a lot of the newer phones are having, but it's still a good phone. It's still fast enough, and it runs plenty fast. Yeah.
Just spun up a little on the fan. I think it's doing a time machine backup. So if it gets a little more leggy than normal, time machine decided it needs to back up in the middle of a live stream. So sorry about that, guys.
Anyways, so it's okay, but I wouldn't go with Apple. Siri is not good. Yeah,
okay.
Siri's not that
This
great
is
anymore.
basically, if you guys have ever used Google Now or any of the Galaxy voices on the Samsung Galaxy S3 or anything, it's a cheap ripoff of that.
Well, actually, I mean, Google Now, I believe Google Now came after.
These are the gumdrop cases, guys. And yes, they are expensive. They are $59.99 each, but when you consider how much an iPad costs, they're well worth it, and we have never had a problem, and they are tough as hell. You cannot break an iPad in one of those unless you take a sledgehammer to the actual screen. We have tested them. We put a broken iPad in it. Well, it was broken because it was water damage. The screen was fine. We put it in a gumdrop case and we smacked it as hard as we could with a hammer, like 5 or 6 times. Not a dent or anything on the case or the iPad. They're great cases.
We have one viewer finally. It took us a while.
Hey.
Hi guys. Should comment on our video.
Yeah. But anyway. Yeah. Oh my god, time machine, stop backing up in the middle of my damn live stream.
All right, so going back, yeah, and then the HTC One M8 and the Google or the Moto X is the number 5. So that's all for top 5 phones of 2014, I guess.
Okay.
Not the greatest list, but whatever.
All right, I'm gonna quit out of Keynote because you suck right now, Keynote. You are using up so much of my RAM. It is not even funny. Okay, let me just drag these. Shut up.
Drag these. Shut up. God.
Shut up.
Jeez.
Shut up. Wait. Okay, empty the trash. Sorry, that was the Google setup thing. Okay. Okay, yeah. So, now, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time. Let me pull it up. I hate this. I wish I had my TriCaster with me. It is time to do the top 5 toughest cameras. Now, this list is a pretty good list, actually. I did the list. I'm not gonna hide the mic or anything. I'm just gonna clip it on and hope it works. Okay. So basically, this list of the top 5 toughest cameras is a list that I kind of put together myself. And these are all in my opinion. Number 1 on the list is the GoPro Hero 3 through 4. Great cameras. Now, GoPro Hero HD and Hero 960 were also pretty tough. Hero 2, GoPro. What were you doing? I mean, you took a camera that was good and made it cheap. I'm sorry, but you did. And then with the Hero 3, they came back with a nice, strong comeback, a giant kick to the ass for any other action camera out there. And it turned out really nice. So that's that one. And those things are absolutely insane. I wish I could show you videos that I've done with those because, I mean, go on my YouTube channel. You'll see some. In the last Tech with Ty episode number 2, you guys would have also seen the Sony Bloggy, but that's number 3 on the list. Number 2 is also on my YouTube channel, the Canon Rebel T1i through T3i. The T4 and T5i, just no. They stopped making them out of their little titanium alloy bodies or whatever. Yeah, geez. They really were titanium alloy, and then they went to this cheap plastic for the next couple. All the Rebels now are made out of plastic. Yet, if you still want a newer Canon camera, but that's made out of the titanium alloy stuff, the 7D, the 60D, and the 70D. Those are the top cameras. They're Wi-Fi connected, and they're really cool. I think 2 of them are Wi-Fi connected.
Oh, someone asked a question. What's your opinion on the DJI Phantom Vision 2 Plus?
So this is from Miniman 0404. I would have to say, Boulder Dam Studios is Miniman 0404. This is a great question, actually. Comparing the DJI Phantom and the DJI Phantom 2, good job. You changed a couple colors. That's great. As far as the camera goes, yes, the cameras on them are pretty nice. I will say that. But if you really want good quality on the camera for those, I would say to get the ZenMoose gimbal and a GoPro Hero 4 or Hero 3, put them on, and it will you'll get a better picture, honestly. But let's see, what other questions do we have, or any?
Well, that's probably our only viewer. So
Okay.
anyway, there's no
So other stuff. Continue on with the cameras. Yes, the Canon Rebels I already talked about. Sony Bloggy Touch. Sony killed off all the Bloggies in 2013. The Sony Bloggy Touch was killed off in 2011. And I will say they were pretty friggin' nice cameras. Video quality, I will say, not the best, definitely. But as far as audio goes, they're really good, and especially compared to a Canon Rebel, the audio quality, as audio goes, the Bloggy actually kicks the Canon Rebel's ass with audio quality. I'm sorry, but you know what? Come on, Canon. You guys, you're spending all your money on your sensors, which is good, but I mean, come on, put a couple $100 in for a good microphone. I'd be willing to spend an extra $200 on the camera so I get decent audio, so I don't have to freaking go and spend $500 on a shotgun mic or something. I mean, come on, it's not that hard. But
well, you can get the lapel mic. The lapel
yeah,
mics
and
are
you can, but if you're trying to shoot, like,
cheap.
let's say you're on a
besides batteries.
yeah, besides
Batteries
batteries,
are
I probably spent $100 on getting batteries for this thing, because if you guys look, I don't know if the audio will cut out or not. Inside of these, you get these nice little button cell batteries you got to replace every couple days, and I've probably dropped $100 on batteries for these dumb bastards. So thank you, Amazon, for not having cheap batteries. There is a mod that someone did where you can hook up a AA to these, but I mean, they look ugly when you do that, so why do it? I don't care. But I'm gonna find a way to, when they make rechargeable button cells, I don't care how much they are, I'm getting a rechargeable one for this, because this is absolutely freaking ridiculous. But anyway, back on the topic of cameras, Sony Bloggies, yes, they were tough. If you watch Tech with Ty episode 2, you will see a nice video of me and my friend Trey. If you guys don't know the story, my Sony Bloggy was stolen from me, and I got it back a couple months later. And yeah, we were lucky. I got it back, but when I got it back, the whole front plate of it was missing and the screen was cracked. Actually, you know what? I might have it with me. I have to have it with me, because I used that's how I got the footage into the Tech with Ty episode, is I found the camera and uploaded the footage into the Mac. I think I have an idea on where it would be. Talk to the people while I find this thing.
I'm gonna.
Oh,
So,
by the way, guys, if you format an old iPod, one of these things, I'm using an old iPod as a 60 gigabyte external hard drive, and it actually works perfect, and it's fast. Just saying.
all right. So
Continue.
he's saying, and I'm saying too. So, anyways, basically, something I want to add is, besides the fact that I was pretty like nondescript about how good the phones were,
All right, I got
this
it.
year was a really good year in smartphones. The designs have been amazing. The features have been
Mini-Mano
amazing.
404,
The
I'm
specs are
sorry.
awesome.
Mini-Mano 404, you're gonna cry when you see this thing, because this is one of his favorite cameras. He's had a Bloggy for the past forever. I'm sorry, but yeah, you're gonna freak out. But don't get me wrong. Here, let me play the audio. It still works. Listen. See, everything's still good. It still works. Picture quality is shot to hell, but it still works. Here we go. I'm gonna show you guys this beat up thing. Here's the back. Doesn't look too bad, aside from the crack on the screen. A nice crack through it. But yeah, unfortunately, I know I got it back like this. Still works. See, everything's still good. See, what up? Picture quality sucks. Here, there's a live person's view. Everything's foggy, like really bad. It still works. But here's the front. This is how I got it back when I got stolen from me. Everything is gone. Who's that?
The dog.
Oh, I thought that was someone here to get you. I was like, excuse the barking. She's barking at our excellent neighbor. Let me see who it is real quick. Oh, here, let me. Damn it! There's nobody there. Shut up. Okay.
Tyler, do you want to have a talk about this? I think we need to discuss this issue.
I agree. Okay. Anyway, yes. If you watch Tech with Ty episode 2, you'll see a video me and my friend Trey did where how famous people would react to be filmed by a stranger. So I came up with the bloggy, was like, "Hey Trey," and he's like, "Why the are you filming me, dude?" So he grabs it and hucks it across the parking lot. This was all planned. He wasn't really being a dick. We planned this. If you watch the whole video, I cut it down to pretty short. But yeah, it was all planned, and it was funny. It was. I don't even. It was pretty good. We're live.
Okay.
Gotta love siblings.
Well, we're not technically live, but we are live.
We're live with 20 seconds ahead.
I
Yeah.
think it's a little bit more than that. I was watching the video and it's pretty far difference. Like,
If you guys are wondering where the organ went, it's in the other room. Mostly because the thing was taking up so much space, and it's unfortunately. If anybody claims it and you can drive down here, I'll put my address if you guys want it. But if it's not gone in a week, it's going to that magical place called the Dump. It does have bass in it. Oh my god. Yeah. They will not stop playing it.
The battery?
Yes, it's
Sorry.
been charging. Okay. What was I going to talk about? Oh, yes, the video from the Sony bloggy is pretty
Messed up.
yeah, for all you people who are
Foggy.
sensitive to cameras being hurt, turn it off now. Because I'm about to show you guys how the thing got thrown across the parking lot. Video quality is not going to be the best, I guarantee you, but yeah, here you go. Let's screen share the video. If you guys leave in the comments below, if one person comments, seriously, if one person comments that they want the whole video on YouTube, I will upload the raw footage. I'm going to censor bleep the F word because I can't really show that, sorry. Partnership will not let me. I know you can complain to YouTube about that one. But anyway, here you go. Here is the final video, and I'm going to try to mute it before the F-bomb hits. Shit, this is whoops. Hey, Trey. Dude, why the f are you filming me? Oh my god. All right. So that is how the bloggy went to hell. Yeah, I'm just kidding. That is the bloggy still works. This is the damage right here. These 3 little tiny dents on the lens right here. That was all the damage that happened from it. Other than that, I remember when I first got this thing, I was pretty young. And I remember we were at Lake Meridian and I dropped it and I got the first dent on it and I almost cried. I was so sad because this was like the camera was a month old when I did it. Now look at it. How sad would I have been now? Because the screen's cracked. There's if you guys are wondering how Sony kept the fronts of these cameras on, it's obvious they just super glued it on. I mean, come on now, look at this. That's a nice glue job there, yep. Sony. Hey, if anybody needs a battery for a Sony bloggy, I could probably take the battery out. I could see part of it right here. So if you guys have the balls to take your Sony bloggies apart, need a new battery, hit me up. If you pay for shipping, it's yours. Anyway, what else should we talk about? Oh, yes, the cameras. We're still on that. Second thing, the second.
Oh my god, it took us that long.
God, I know. Okay, second camera on
wait,
the.
I thought we already talked the second camera.
Third camera, yeah, third camera on the. No, yeah, fourth camera because it went GoPro Rebel bloggy. Right. Fourth camera on the list is technically camera, technically phone. Well, no, not phone. Technically iPod-ish, iPod with Android on it, basically. Well, that's what we'll call it. It is the Samsung Galaxy camera. Now, these things are actually pretty tough. There's just one con I have with it. Samsung, it's a damn camera. I get it runs a full version of Android, but do you think you could reduce the boot time by, I don't know, maybe 37 seconds? I shouldn't have to wait 2 minutes for my camera to turn on to take a picture. And then the worst thing is, when you turn it on, it doesn't even boot into camera. It boots onto your lock screen. Come on. Like, and you're only getting a 2-hour battery life. But aside from that, the reason it's on this list is not because I like it. It's because it's tough. I've seen people throw these on the ground. What's his face? CNET, the always on torture tests on CNET. They reviewed this thing, and it passed with flying colors. But the problem is that it's just the picture quality you'd expect. They put a lens that's the size of a DSLR lens on it, but picture quality, you're not getting more than an iPhone. Honestly, the white balance on it's horrible. Focus on it's horrible. There's no manual settings on it unless you go into your actual settings menu on the Android and then turn on developers mode. You're not getting any manual settings on your camera. And I'm not saying it's a good camera. I'm saying it's a tough camera. And then number 5 on the list, which I would say is tough-ish. I can't remember even what was on the list.
Oh, it was the PowerShot.
That's right, the PowerShot. Okay, this is not number 1 on the list. The reason it's number 5 is because they unfortunately did not pass any water tests on CNET. 1 drop of water on the microphone and the thing probably won't ever turn on again. I mean, they can get rained on and stuff, but they spilled water on it on purpose for the torture test. It still turned on, but the lens would not come out or anything. It was totally done. And the sensor had a big black bar through it on all the pictures. The reason I'm saying they're tough is because you could drop those things off the Grand Canyon and they will still work perfectly and you'll get maybe a scratch. They're really tough cameras. I've had experience with this. Just don't push the lens in manually. I know they're automatic lenses and little kids probably would love to shove the lens inside the camera while it's on. Yeah, you know that little grinding noise you hear when you push your camera lens in on a PowerShot? Yeah, that would be it breaking. If you push the lens in on one of those, if you drop it while the lens is out and it hits the lens, that's the end. The camera will turn on and it'll give you a lens error warning and turn right back off and you'll never get your camera to work again. But if you drop them while it's off, you drop them a million times and they will just keep on rolling. They will never die. And they shoot full HD video at 60 frames per second. And the one I'm talking about in particular is the 10 megapixel Canon PowerShot A490. And I also had an A560. Canon goes backwards with their numbers. If you haven't noticed, all the PowerShots, the oldest PowerShot that I owned was a A560. And that was made in 2002. Now they have the A490 made in 2010. They go backwards with their numbers on the PowerShots. But yes, they are nice cameras and their image quality is really good. Just don't drop them on the lens while they're on and you'll be fine. Okay, he's playing Skyrim. I don't know what else to talk about. What else should we talk about? Leave a suggestion, guys. Seriously, come on. I know you're still watching Miniman. Okay.
Turn on the comments or look at the comments on this video.
All right, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna pull up the comments on this video on my tablet because if I run any more things on this Mac while it's doing a time machine thing, I will end up making it crash again and have a lot more fun with Time Machine. Don't ask.
Oh god.
Okay. One real quick thing. This is not tech related in any way, and I'm not sponsored by these people, but I have to show you this. You guys probably all know about my Halloween projection show. Now, if you want to do this kind of stuff at your house without all the editing and mapping out your house, you can do this in your window with these awesome things. This is from a company called Atmosphere Effects. This is the Jack-O-Lantern Jamboree. Put a projector in your yard, shine it on your pumpkins, and it shows animated pumpkin faces. And also, each Atmosphere Effects DVD comes with a bonus DVD. Mine came with Shades of Evil, which is basically, the guy on the phone, and the skeleton comes up behind him. He shoots at him, and then the skeleton rips his head off. And the guy hangs himself. It's all those ones. Each one comes with 3 different modes: TV mode, wall, or window. Or in the pumpkin case, it comes with comes with 3D projection, TV, or pumpkins, which is nice. And then you can have them sing songs, tell stories, or make faces. And you can choose which scene it does. You can have them play in a loop or have one trigger something. next year I'm going to have mine trigger something. I'm going to have it like on the keyboard kind of. I don't have the mic on, so you probably cannot hear me at all. I'm going to have, if you guys have ever heard of them, it is called like, I can't remember what they're called. They're basically a little board you plug into your computer and you program the board. So like, let's say that you want, a push button to be the space bar. You can do that. It's one of the same things that arcade machine uses to control the buttons. So it pushes different buttons on a keyboard. It's basically a keyboard, only instead of having buttons on it, you connect your own stuff. And I'm going to have mine programmed for the space bar on my laptop and have the space bar be one of those pressure mats that you can buy that when you step on it, it will push the space bar and trigger one of the effects and have it play or something. So I'm going to try to do that next year. But getting off of topic here, let's check these questions because I'm curious to what you guys have to say. We are still live. I can't believe anybody's still watching. Wow, Mini Man, you are freaking dedicated, aren't you?
It is him.
It's him. I guarantee you it's him. He watches all of my live streams. It's definitely him. Actually, I could probably... No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep his privacy because he does not ever want his face on YouTube. I was going to say I'll Skype him, but no, I'm going to be nice. All right, let's go to the YouTubes and check on this video.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll let me pull it up through the YouTube app. I don't know. It should, right?
It should.
Okay.
Probably, yeah.
No, it's not. How do I get onto my live stream? It's not on my... It's on my YouTube homepage, maybe? No. No. Why do you do this to me? Okay. Let me double check. I wonder if it'll pull up in my email. Probably not. Well, maybe. How did you get to the live stream?
I just
on your
pulled it up
phone.
on my phone. Wait, hold on. Go to your main. You just go to your main
Let's
page,
see.
and then you scroll down and it'll have events.
Okay. Oh, new activity, new activity, new activity. Whoa. Okay. Let's see what all this new activity. We have 8 new comments apparently. And it all pulled up in my email. We have comment after comment. Okay. Let's see. As it's loading up, our internet loves to be slow right now. Probably because my brother's downstairs streaming Netflix or some stuff on our Xbox. We're live, so I can't really... Okay, new comment. I hate you. My bloggy is crying. Well, I'm sorry. It wasn't my fault. You can blame the psycho son of a... who stole it from me. She did the damage, not me. Next, we have... from Henry T. Oh, God. I wonder who that is. We have Blarb. That's great.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Henry T says, my want video on YouTube. Okay, so he probably wants the bloggy video. Sure, it'll be up today. Not dedicated, bored, LOL. This live stream is from Tech with Ty is kind of turned into a giant shitstorm.
What?
Did
you say something?
No.
Oh yeah, I didn't.
There was obviously a censor bleep there, and it just totally didn't render in. You know what, YouTube? If you ban my channel for saying shit, I'm gonna be mad. Shit. They'll send me an email saying you can't say that because we're dicks.
No, they won't.
Nah, they're a multi-billion-dollar company. They have better things to do. Like ban Shane's video. So what else should we talk about? I don't know. I think that what we are gonna do, guys, I want to end this live stream. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna start another live stream hopefully right after, but it's not gonna be dedicated to Tech with Ty. It's just gonna be us doing random stuff. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So as always, peace out, dudes. Stop broadcast. Come on.